All right, this is the book of Isaiah 33:6. And wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. For the fear of Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, is his treasure.
Mama, I love you. P.O.P.
That fucking PPP loan got my motherfucking ass.
Y'all going to jail.
The FBI is arresting.
So basically, this lesson is going to be dealing with, something that the Spirit hit me with, and that's how, some wisdom is with all of the detention camps they talking about, people being down deported, all this stuff, right? Which they say is for reasons of people being illegal, things like that, which really is an excuse, right? And you're supposed to see that. And it is an excuse simply because the person telling you this is the devil. All right. They're just looking for reasons to put people in these prisons to lock you jakes up, which all of that is surrounding the times of the MOTB system, where people are being forced, and it's complete draconian measures going on, like laws that's completely violating people's rights, if you will, showing forth this man, this man being a so-called white man, to really think himself to be the devil. I mean, the Most High God, but indeed the devil. All right. Because the scriptures tell you, which I'm getting. Let me get it really. It says, matter of fact, yeah, we're gonna come back here. Psalm 64 and 8, it says, so shall they make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So if you see what these devils is doing, what they brewing, the little slick stuff they trying to pull, fast ones, or people illegal, then ironically, Trump is talking about reopening Alcatraz and things like that, and people getting their ass sent to South America. In the scriptures, you should already know what time it is, because all that aligns with the things that the prophecies that Yahweh Shah foretold us, which really was dealing with how people are going to be being locked up. And, obviously for the word, and obviously because you're an Israelite, but specifically dealing with Owen Caesar. So I say all this to say, right, before I say this, let me read this last one. This is Psalm 64 and 5. It says, I'm going to actually start it. We'll come back to that. It says, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of land snares privily. Things to get you jakes. Things to where they can accuse you and get a hold of you. And that's really through a lot of you, owing bills on the damn devil, so-called on them, right? Which we're gonna get into. It says, and privily is exclusively, like it's exclusive. It's targeted, But it says, they say, who shall see them, right? Those that know what's going on, those that know that, they got the eyes of the Lord on their side, those that got the eye salve. It says, who shall see them? Because we know this man, the devil. It says those that see what the scriptures is saying, specifically, which is pointing out all these things. It says they search out iniquities, they accomplish a diligent search. See that? They search out iniquities. See, so they looking for ways to get you. They saying, how can they set Jacob? Right? But it says they accomplish a diligent search, but the inward thought of every one of them in the heart is deep. See that? But the Most High, Yahweh shall shoot at them with an arrow, suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away, and all men shall fear. Exactly. See what you're doing, and all men, because the Lord giving us a drop, and all men based off how they moving. You could see it between the lines. You could put the pieces together. It says, and all men shall fear and shall declare the work of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, for they shall wisely consider of his doing. And remember, being wise is gonna be, the knowledge, the stability of times, the knowledge of the times toward and strength of salvation, all by way, which is really just listening to what the Lord telling you and how this devil work and looking out for the things he told you to look out for and translating those things into what you're seeing today and matching them up. Because you go, no, this is exactly what the Lord was talking about. It says, the righteous shall be glad in Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai and shall trust in him, and all the upright in heart shall glory. All right, because the Lord told us that the devil was going to start locking Jacob, locking people up, so forth and so on. See that? It says, Isaiah 32:3, it says, in the eyes of them that see shall not be dim, and the ears of them that hear shall hearken. See that? So we see what's going on. It says, the heart also of the rash shall understand knowledge. I'm going to play a video after this. And the tongue of the stammerer shall be ready to speak plainly. The vile person shall no more be called liberal, nor the churl said to be bountiful. For the vile person will speak villainly, and his heart will work iniquity. See? It will come up with wickedness. You know what I'm saying? Things that's not right, to practice hypocrisy. And what's the hypocrisy? Them acting like this is the land of the free, and them, they releasing all this student loan debt, and Trump, but he a damn devil, man. Which is crazy because that would be reasons why people wouldn't go on and pay. But I haven't even got into what exactly I'm telling you. Basically, like I'm saying, man, if or the topic, if you owe bills, Caesar has a reason to come get you, and put you in prison. That's just what the Spirit been showing me. Not saying that's gonna happen, but a lot of people are gonna be locked up and are getting locked up, put in prisons who are Jakes for reasons such as this. And these things actually go back to what Yahweh Shah had foretold us. In all actuality, with the Lord works being doubled to that which it is, showing the wisdom of the Lord being double to that which is, the works of the Lord being 2 and 2, the wisdom being manifold, you know what I'm saying? She goeth through all things by reason of her pureness. So the Lord, he touched on a lot and saying, a little, if you will, speaking on a particular topic, it shows he touches on so much of the topic. He's really dealing with so much of the topic. It will show that what was I saying? It's true. This does go back to the scriptures. The Lord was foretelling us about that. All right. So when you go into this word iniquity, the word in the Hebrew is awan, right? Which means trouble. You see that? Or wickedness. See that? which deals with what? Jacob's trouble. So again, for the vile person who speak villainy, his heart will work iniquity to practice hypocrisy and to utter error against Yahweh Basham Yahushua, to make empty the soul of the hungry, and he will cause the drink of the thirsty to fail, because they want to stop these prophecies from playing out. So the main way they could do it and getting to you, Jakes, and you helping him manifest to where he comes down is the way he can prevent that is by, taking you off the streets, taking you up out of the society, and locking you up, putting you behind bars. But that won't even work because that is synonymous with the times of Acts. Before I say any more, let's hit play.
Mama, I love you. P.O.P.
That fucking PPP loan got my motherfucking ass.
Y'all going to jail.
The FBI is arresting thousands of people right now that took out PPP loans.
All I know is my side of the story. I can't tell no other story. I'm innocent. And Mama, I love you. P.O.P. Hold it down. Right, these all good Pimp Squad, baby, for life.
The PPP warrantless is real.
This is 5 days ago. So, this PPP loan crap was like 4 years ago, and it's rolling over. They're using it. Everything that that was in favor of, for those that's like in the financial literacy things of the sort. Trump, he closed the CFPB. Let me pull out. As you can see here, it says, fine. This is 4 hours ago. Consumer financial protection is on Bloomberg. Financial industry backs Trump CFPB rollback of non-bank rules. Yeah, here you go. This is back in February. It says, the Trump administration has ordered the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, the CFPB, to stop nearly all its work, effectively shutting down the agency that was created to protect consumers after the 2008 financial crisis. All right. So basically, you see right here, Trump administration closes the CFPB. So they're literally taking away the rights of the people, right? It's like they're trying to create a quicksand for you to be stuck in, because we know this is the place of debt. This is the place of the debt, the most debt slaves, so forth and so on. So, for them to take away the things that will stop you from being able to deny that debt or things like that, they clearly want you in that debt. And they ironically are using people's debt against them or as a way to accuse them, and primarily Jake's, because this man is said to be the accuser of our brethren, who accuse them daily, day and night, of basically going against the Lord, which will be his way or his scheme or strategy to keep himself in power. You see what I'm saying? Because if we're never coming back into knowledge who we are, ever doing right, it couldn't get to a point to where Esau will be, in position to come out of power, and that's what they're trying to do. So this is another thing that basically accusing Jacob, it's crazy. But again, the eyes of them that see shall not be dim. And the Lord said that this man, he thought that the Lord was such a one as himself. But the Lord said what? And that man again being Esau. All right, Psalms 55. I'm gonna just get it. This is Psalms 55, and Salakia. That's it. It's 55, and actually it is 51 in the chapter. It's a lot in this chapter. Or, no, it's not 51. 1 second. The 50th chapter. But anyway, this chapter is dealing with Esau. and the whole Lord thinking that Esau thinking that the Most High is like him. All right, this is Psalms 50, and I'm gonna jump to the point 16. But unto the wicked God hath said, Yahweh Shemel Shah hath said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth, seeing thou hatest instruction, and casteth my words behind thee? When thou sawest a thief, thou considerest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. See that? Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. See, the devil. That's what this devil means, deceit. It says, thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thy own mother's son. Who do that more than Esau? Other Jakes. But this is how you know this is talking about or allude to Esau ass as well. You could use this to show forth of that, because he's the accuser. Truly. Right? It says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Right? Because when you go back to Genesis 25, what did he tell Isaac? He told Isaac that Jacob stole his birthright. He wanted to accuse him, but he was lying. He did that as a way to basically get a grip back on things, or keep power, or not let Jake come into, what he don't want Jake to come into, just to, keep it plain. It says, these things has thou done, and this is how we know it's talking about Esau and Jacob, because thou murderous son, dealing with who? Jacob, the son of Rebecca. All right. It says, these things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Thou thoughtest I was together such a one as thyself, but I will reprove thee. See? And I will set them in order before thy eyes, dealing with the elect. The Lord is going to show these people what's going on, so to where he can't get us, to where he can't have his way like he think he going to have his way. He getting a lot of casualties of Israelites, if you will, that don't know what's going on, but they was written to be casualties, anyway, because they was born in vain. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not the Israel of God, because they don't walk according to this rule, so they ain't gonna get mercy. They're gonna end up in these concentration camps and things like that, these detention centers, whatever you want to call them, prisons ultimately, because they can't see, so they couldn't flee away. So this lesson is to help you do. It says, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. See that? Now consider this, ye that forget Yahweh Ba'ashim Shah, lest I tear ye in pieces, and there be none to. So all this is to get a hold of the Israelites. All right? This is about Jake being locked up and not having nothing. Because it say, but the liberal shall devise liberal things, and by liberal things shall he stand. But that's why this place is going to go down. And let's get that word liberal. And we get back to the video, the word liberal, a noble one. Let's go here. Free. That's what liberal is synonymous with. That's all I wanted. Free or freedom. So this is not the place of that. This is the place of what Yahweh Shah is talking about. These people will lock your ass up, man. And that's what they got in mind for you. All right. And that's ultimately what they were set up to do, but we'll come back to this. All right. So let's go ahead and hit play. But before I do, let me say, call Halam La Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai, Wahara Kakadash. Salutations to our elder apostles and elder bishops over the Great Millstone Church, and to all the Akim of the branches, also holding on, pushing forth this true doctrine, the true faith. Shalom to you as well. All right. And we are the Hebrew Israelites. So let's get into it.
You have a real page?
These all good pimps, boy, baby, for life.
The PPP warrant list is real. They have a real page with my fucking name on it for $37,000. Now,
See, and Jake thought this was a damn game, man. You know, because here it is. The Lord told us, He foretold us all things. You know, that what? That when it come to pass, you know, you may believe that I am He. And then you're gonna know that the prophet was among you. You grab that. So real quick, because that's Mark 13 and 22 or 23. And this is John 13 and 19. It says, now I tell you, matter of fact, yeah, I'm gonna read this one. Now I tell you before it come to pass, that when it is come to pass, you may believe that I am He. Exactly. That this Bible real. This man really spoke these words. This man had to be real that spoke these words, because these words is said to be coming from a man that are things that's really done happened to me. You know, this man who also said he sent forth men to preach these words, who I heard these words from. So they had to, all of them gotta be real. It's all gotta be real. In the NLT, I tell you before this beforehand, so that when it happens, you will believe that I am the Messiah. Exactly. The Lord foretold us everything. And He is the one that set up this ministry that brought forth words or more wisdom such as this. This is Romans 13. And I'm gonna start at 1. Let every soul be subject to unto the higher power, for there is no power but of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. See that? And that's Esau being in power. He was set up to be the devil. That's what you Jakes got to understand. All right. And that's what we all gotta accept. It's a easy, it's a way you gotta play this. You see what I'm saying? This is 2 Ezra 6 and 1. And he said unto me, in the beginning, when the earth was made, before the borders of the world stood, or ever the winds blow, before it thundered and lightened, see, or ever the foundations of paradise were laid, before the fair flowers were seen, or ever movable powers were established. See that? Before an innumerable multitude of angels were gathered together, or ever the heights of the air were lifted up, before the measures of the firmament were named, or ever the chimneys in Sion were hot, and the present years were sought out, right? Like people trying to figure out what's going on because things getting crazy before I got to that point, or ever the inventions of them that now sin were turned. See that? All this stuff set up, these devices to overthrow people, all these schemes and strategies from Israel to Esau to Israel to East, to Esau, from Esau to Israel, you know, to all these nations, man. You know, a way to get a nigga, you know, a Jake, an Israelite. Nonetheless, before Jake really went off, it says before things got this bad, got like this, before they were sealed that have gathered faith for a treasure. So that before we started coming into this truth, you know, to endure and be proven, you know. All right. Before we went into this sealing process. Because you're not sealed if your ass ain't endured everything yet. It's just that simple. But read on. And you got Jakes falling out every day, man. Succumbing to the things they want stupidly because they didn't listen to the scriptures, what the Lord said. And this could be one thing. One thing, man. Got offended, left, got caught, hit with the okey doke out here, mistaken it as something else, or, you know, just blaming the Lord like, you know, it's wild, as if He didn't inform you of these things. He told you before thou come to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. You know, and set thy heart aright and constantly endure and make not haste in time of trouble. That's showing you if you don't, you're not gonna make it. You would be sealed. But point being, all these words are to help you do this, all this information, you know. It says, then did I consider these things, and they all were made through me alone and through none other. See that? By me also they shall be ended, and by none other. This is the point. Then answered I and said, what shall be the apart and asunder of the times, or when shall the end of the first be the end of the, or when shall be the end of the first and the beginning of it that followeth? And he said unto me, from Abraham unto Isaac, unto when Jacob and Esau were born of him. Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. See, Jacob's hand held first the heel of Esau. See that? You gotta be able to grab whatever you gotta be able to grab the heel of this devil, man. You know, taking heed to this is grabbing heels of the devil, because there was a fight going on. You see that? All right. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, because that symbolized something, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followed. Exactly. So right now is the Lord's time, and who all these things, and who is this made through, and by none other, Yahweh, in the name of Yahweh Shah. All right. So again, let every subject, Romans 13:1, be a subject. Let every soul be subject unto the higher powers, for there is no power but of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. The powers that be are ordained of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua. So right now it's the white man's world, because the Lord set it up as Esau. He set him up to be these things. He set him up for his world, to him to run his world how he runs his world, to be the devil, to ultimately punish you Jakes. Because you came into his world by way or reason of the things you do now and did in the past, and would have done before you even was born. That's just how it was set up to be. And you got to accept it. You have to accept that. All right? It tells you that in Romans the 11th chapter. I just want to get it so this could be a complete, okay, this is what I'm dealing with, et cetera, et cetera. This is Romans 11, and I'm going to jump to the point. It says, not Romans 11, my bad. Romans 9. All right, real quick, Romans 9. I'm going to jump to the point, verse 10. Matter of fact, I'm going to start at 9. It says, for this is the word of promise. At this time will I come, and Sarah shall have a son. And not only this, and who is that son? Isaac. And not only this, but when Rebekah also had conceived by one, even by our father Isaac. For when children being not yet born, he will have a son that it will come down to. And that's who? Jacob. But he will have a brother born with him that will be in the way, a so-called twin brother, right? Who coulda, woulda got the blessing, but he wasn't chosen. Name being who? Esau. For the children being not yet born, hence the white man and so-called black man, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of, see, for the children being not yet born, is the point, neither having done any good or evil, that the purpose of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua according to election might stand, not of right. So that's showing you it was just what the Lord will already set things to be, you know, because everything comes down to what he wants. It comes down to what he wanted, and it starts with what he wants, you know, so it will come down to what he wanted. See that? It says, not of works, but of him that calleth. It was said unto her, the elder shall serve the younger, period. He already knew who the elder was going to be before, you know, the two came out. As it is written, Jacob have I loved, but Esau have I hated. See that? It's that simple. So the point is, like I said, you know, you were subjected unto this by reason of what you do now and what you would and what you had did in the past, but also before you even what you would go on to do, you know, by reason of what? Predestination. This is Romans 13:2. Whosoever therefore resisted the power, resisting the ordinance of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, and they that resist shall receive to themselves damnation. This is how things gonna go, whether you like it or not. It's what you're dealing with. This is the condition of the battle. For rulers are not a terror to good works, but to the evil. So this devil was set up to get you Jakes for going against the Lord, that go against the Lord, because you would go against the Lord before you even born. And you are to just learn this, and that's the way to beat him. by using his knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. It's the way you're gonna not be got by this damn devil, which is why I'm dropping this lesson for. It says, it says, wilt thou then not be afraid of the power? See that? Because it's of Yahweh Shemiah Shah. Why you think he the one who says he kills, he destroys? He makes alive. You know? If he shut it up, there can be no opening. You know? And then he tell this damn devil how he gonna set us in order. You know, we gonna live, we gonna stand upon. It ain't nothing they can do. We gonna see him and flee away. You see that? So both sides is to be afraid, you know, of the Most High. See, it all comes down to the Most High, you know? But him being the devil, he not gonna move like that. He gonna be crazy and try to use these things to do these things. So it's all set up by way of Yahweh Shemiah Shai. It says, do that which is good, and thou shalt have praise of the same. This the point, for he is the minister of Yahweh Shemiah Shai to thee for good, right? But if thou do that which is evil, be afraid. See that? For he bared not the sword in vain. Who was given the sword? Esau. For he is the minister of our God, Yahweh Shemiah Shai, a revenger to execute wrath upon them that doeth evil. See that? It's that simple. It says, wherefore ye must be need subject, not only for wrath, but also for conscience sake. You know, we ain't supposed to be here trying to make his world our world. You going off. The Lord told this man to rejoice and be glad, O Edom. It says, for this cause pay ye tribute also, for they are God's ministers attending continually upon this very thing. Right? Now, this is manifold right here. Because they'll try to use scriptures like this back in slaves' time. This is Jake pretty much learning order, you know, being in the faith now, being of the body, of the truth, you know, of the churches. You know what I'm saying? But hey, he called who was that? Was it Nebuchadnezzar? His anointed. You know what I'm saying? It says, render therefore to all their dues, tribute to whom tribute is due, custom to whom custom, fear to whom fear, honor to whom honor. And that deals with what? So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So as you see right here, the tribute money, it says Matthew 17:24, and when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, see, tribute, and said, do not your master pay tribute? It says, he said, yes. And when he was come into the house, Yahushua prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon? Of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children or of strangers? Peter said unto him, of strangers. Yahushua said unto him, then are the children free. See that? Notwithstanding, lest we should offend them, go thou to the sea and cast an hook and take up the fish that first cometh up, and when thou hast opened his mouth, thou shalt find a piece of money. Take that and give unto them for me and for. So that's what's been going on. That's that was him playing out that Romans 13. You know, you rendering tribute unto who tribute is due, custom unto who custom, honor unto whom honor, you know, so forth and so on. See that? So it's a tribute that has to be given to these people, you know, because, you know, so it's manifold. They're the government, and they'll use these things to come get your ass, man. It says Isaiah 33:6, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy time and strength of salvation. For the fear of Yahweh Shemiah Shai is his treasure, which they really shouldn't do according to their own laws. But this is something I'm saying that the devil is slickly trying to do now, because we at the end now. So you Jakes, hey, he don't bear the sword in vain, man. Look, you gonna be doing way more crime if you don't repent. This is all written beforehand, and then nobody listened. All right? Nobody listened. But let me hit play so I get up out of there.
With my fucking name on it.
For life.
The PPP warrant list is real. They have a real page with my fucking name on it for $37,000. Not only $37,000, but also because I used my child's father's name to open up a bank account to get $18,000.
Y'all might not see me too much longer. I ended up getting a letter in the mail from the IRS. That fucking PPP loan got my motherfucking ass. That shit got me. I took out a loan for $50,000 and I don't know how I'm gonna pay that shit back. Like when you in a fucked up situation, you in a bind, you in a fucked up situation, man, you willing to do any motherfucking thing to get out that shit. You willing to do anything to get out that motherfucking shit. You know, I was just in a tight spot. I was in a tight spot and I needed some money. And I didn't know they was just offering people money. And it's just like, we was in a motherfucking recession and the fucking pandemic, man.
Some
Wasn't
of these
nobody
Jakes
working for
playing,
real,
but There's a
man.
real thing going on though. You know?
Do something about this, bro. Help a nigga out. Donald Trump, you got this shit ain't right. This shit ain't right. Donald Trump, you gotta do something about this, bro. Help a nigga out. You say you fuck with us. You say you fuck with us. Shit, show me. Show me, Donald Trump. Fuck with me, nigga.
See, Jake think this is a game. This
People
not a
are now
fucking game, bro.
going to jail for
Fuck with me, nigga.
People are now going to jail for taking out PPP loans back in 2020 when they really didn't need to. Now, the woman that I showed you there has gotten the biggest sentencing that any of us have seen. She is going to prison for 9.5 years. She is currently counting down on her TikTok her next 30 days here before she goes and surrenders and gives herself up to police. This woman here was making a video telling people that you did not have to take out the PPP loan. Everybody was doing it back in 2020, and now they're finally starting to go to jail. And we don't know exactly how long this guy is going away for, but he said, I might be going away for a while. That PPP loan came back to bite me.
Yeah,
and as people in his comment section pointed out,
that's the serpent. You got to understand that, man. He speaks as his dragon. You know, he appears as a lamb, but he speaks when he speaks as his dragon. You know, this is the throne of iniquity that the throne of iniquity that frameth the street. This is the kingdom that sets you up. In other words, it tell you that in the book of Psalms. This kingdom will set you up, man. You know, and that's exactly what these mothers is doing. So now, I see it just through the spirit. Like if you have any type of like actual debt, they could use that as a way to try to come get a lot, you know, and you being you Jakes. This is Psalms 94 and 20 shall the throne of iniquity. See, the kingdom about Jacob's trouble that pushes trouble and wickedness have fellowship with thee. You know, no, the Lord not with this, which frameth mischief by Allah. But he set it up to be like this. You know what I'm saying? So you understand why he wants things ran, you know, what's known as the right way. This is how we supposed to move, you know, but he let people, you know, succumb to this because, you know, that's how we got here in the first place, by them not wanting to be with that. And that's Jake. And Jake still want to repent. So this devil's about to come down with great wrath. He wasn't set up to be the devil and the sword for no reason, bro. You know, he frames mischief by law. So shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by Allah. See that? So they'll come for this kingdom is the kingdom that pushes trouble to people. It sets people up, and it creates laws before it starts doing. It creates laws to do something wicked. You know, it creates laws ahead of time to justify some wicked deed, act, event, movement, or time or error they want to start. They want to do. They want to bring forth. And that's what you're in right now. Go to jail, completely be, put in debt even more, completely be made a slave even more by your so-called debt unto him, you know? So while Trump came in, the first thing he did was start passing these laws that deal with, like your finances and consumer protection. You see what I'm saying? So you got to understand, you got to see these things, man. All right?
You thought you were committing back
Because I'm
to
gonna do
bite.
another
Said, I
video
might
too,
be
but I
going
ain't
away
gonna put it all the info in this one. Pretty much they garnishing people's damn checks and bank accounts if you got student loans. That's another thing, you know? So that could be a reason why they could, it's just to know these things ahead of time, man.
for a while. That PPP loan came back to
Serpent.
bite me. And as people in his
And the Lord said, what?
comment section
Who shall pity a charmer? You know? Y'all was playing with the devil. Who shall pity a charmer that is bitten by a serpent? You know? I believe that's Iraq. Yeah. You're not even supposed to be dealing with none of that, man. All right? Nobody. I believe that's Iraq 12. Yep, Sirach 12 and 13. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent? See, that is bitten with a serpent or any such as come nigh wild beast. See, he was getting all close, getting all into the devils and his antics and his setups and his smooth words. You know, hey man, you better stay off that debt. So again, in wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times and strength of salvation. All right. I'm gonna go ahead and grab this scripture. Salakia. I'm gonna just read this now. This is Matthew 5 and 25. Agree with thy adversary quickly, while thou art in the way with them, right? Lest any time the adversary deliver thee to the judge, and the judge deliver thee to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. Verily I say unto thee, thou shalt by no means come out till come out from where? Prison, these detention centers, these camps, till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. And that's how you know it's just a ploy or a plot for them to just get you into detention camps or centers, because the damn prison's already damn filled with Jake. They're packed. The scriptures tell you that. This is a people robbed and spoiled. They are hid in prison houses. This is Isaiah 44 and let me see. Is that 1 second? Isaiah 42 and 22. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. See that? They are all of them snared in holes, and they are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none deliver it. For a spoil, and none said restore. All right? So this is how you know it's a ploy, because the jail's already packed, the prison's already packed. So that's all this Alcatraz talk possibly playing out. He not gonna be able to fulfill everything he want to do. It's just something I'll perceive through the spirit, man. Just throw out here, man. To warn about Zechariah 11, and I take heed to myself. It says in Zechariah 11 and 4, it says, "Thus saith Yahweh Shem Shah, my God, feed the flock of the slaughter, whose possessors whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty." See that? Because so clearly they doing wrong. They locking people up wrongly. You know what I'm saying? They coming to get you, charging you with things wrongly. Because they incentivize you, didn't tell you this, and it's just wicked. It says, and they that sell them say, "Blessed be Yahweh, for I am rich." Exactly. So see, because that's why they accuse us to Yahweh Bashmi Shah. They got to make you guilty first, so they can be justified in what they do. But who they make you ultimately guilty to? They try to get you to go against the scriptures. They don't tell you that, but they do. You see what I'm saying? They try to paint you on the earth in the sight of the Lord to be someone going off. See, I gave Jake this. They see these niggas. See what these niggas did. See how they took. That's what they do. It says, and their own shepherds pity them not. So you Jakes, you Southern Kingdom Israelites, thinking you done got off scot free because the damn Northern Kingdom they getting their ass deported because they damn so-called illegal immigrants and all this shit. They gonna get choked. Through your bills and debt. You see what I'm saying? So you want to agree with this man while you in the way with him. You know what I'm saying? Like, stay off his book, stay off his debt. You know what I'm saying? Whatever bills you get pay off, because you're gonna be, if he can come get you, deliver you to the judge, and the judge deliver you to the officer, and thou be cast into prison. They can hit you with fraud, all type of shit. It says, verily I say unto thee, thou shalt in no means comest out till thou hast paid the uttermost farthing. Meaning what in the NLT? And if it happens, you surely won't be free again until you have paid the last penny. See that? Truly I say unto you, in the BBE, you will not come out from there till you have made payment of the very last farthing. So that's it. They're not playing with you, man. I assure you, and most solemnly say it to you in the AMP, you will not come out of there until you have paid the last cent. So the Lord, come on, you think he wasn't speaking on this? He was completely ahead of time. He knew how this devil was going to get down and operate. So that's why he says Mark 12 and 17, and Yahweh said unto them, render to Caesar the things that are Caesar's, and to Yahweh, right? Bashem Yahushua, the things that are Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. And they marveled at him. Exactly. Because he understood how this devil got down and operated.
Pointed out, this guy is going away for, but he said, I might be going away for a while. That PPP loan came back to bite me. And as people in his comment section pointed out, you thought you were committing fraud, was doing something right. I got 40K in PPP loans and 100% went to pay my employees, and I got a forgiveness letter with no issues. My PPP loan was great. I followed the guidelines. When you look up PPP loan, the last one, the fourth one right there, back in October, but in the past 11 hours, 3 different people have been charged with crimes regarding their PPP loan. So if you know anyone that got a PPP loan in 2020, check on them.
FBI is arresting thousands of people right now that took out PPP loans. Let me explain. During COVID, the US government put out a program to help small businesses,
quote unquote, help
pay payroll. The money did get dropped into your bank account, and people were using it for not the correct purpose. But that's the small issue. The big issue was how
which they knew
easy it was to get this money. The entire application was, what is your name? Do you have a business? No verification, no one following up, and a few days later, $10,000 just dropped into your bank account. People were taking out these $10,000.
Why would they just do that? Why would they even set a system up to where it could just release money like that? Because they knew that money like this, because they knew they was going to do this. The heart of every one of them is deep, man. All right, they plot on you, Jakes. So you have to, you have to foresee this, man. All right, and I'm gonna just end this here in Psalms. All right, go watch that video on your own. This is Psalm 64. And 2, hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. Those that create the trouble and stuff. Who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words. Exactly. Put you to death with stuff you said, they said to you for you to believe in, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Who's the perfect? The thumb of the earth, Jacob. Jacob was said to be perfect, a plain man, meaning perfect, the thumb. Suddenly do they shoot at him, right? Because they move orderly, correct, by the ways of Yahweh Shah. It says, suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. They encourage themselves in the evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquity. See, that's it. We see what y'all doing, what's going on. Their heart is deep, bro. You got to flee away from these people. They search out iniquities. They accomplish their diligent search. Both the inward thought of every one of them in the heart is deep. But Yahweh Bashem Yahushua shall shoot at them with an arrow. Suddenly shall they be wounded. So they shall make their own tongue to fall upon themselves. All that see them shall flee away. So I'm telling us about all these orders they pushing forth and all that. It's putting us on game and alert what they trying to do. So, hey, while you worrying about them, all this other crap and these protests and, Iran, like the goddamn shit finna end now. This is going on. You still got bills, so repent and use your head.